What's up, YouTube? For today's video, I want to talk about something that I believe a lot of the sharks on Shark Tank often get wrong. I know in the title I put Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary. That was mostly just for like search engine results. It's really all the sharks, but I would say those two are probably like the main ones. Anyway, let me explain. So a lot of episodes they do, an entrepreneur go on there and they will ask, like if it's a young person, they'd be like, are you still in college? If it's an old person, they ask if you still have your job. And basically, most of the time, while it does vary, most of the time, if they still have their full-time job, or if they're still in school, or if they still have other stuff going on besides the business, they view it as like a red flag. And a lot of times, like when they go out and they don't invest, that is why. And before I really give my opinion on why they're wrong, I just want to give like a disclaimer. First off, I'm not saying at all that I know more than they do. Obviously, they're a lot smarter than me in that area. And also, I'm biased considering I'm still in college and have a job and also run my own business. So it's but really when you look at it, and the reason like I'm making this video is because I don't think they're necessarily right on that. I think it's actually like a good decision to basically have a fallback plan, or like have something where you're making income so you don't have to depend on the business full time, because I think it's really smart to like minimize the amount of risk you have going like as an entrepreneur. Because like for me, for instance, while running like my company, there's a certain amount of revenue that I want to make every single month. But if I don't make it somehow, if I don't make the amount of money, I'm fine. Like I'm still gonna be able to pay all my bills. I'm still gonna be able to live my life. And also like with that is actually an opportunity, because if there's something like with my affiliate store, if I have it up there and like it's making money, and then I have like another idea for it, I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to sacrifice revenue temporarily to make the store better, to make more revenue in the future. But if you don't have that income coming in, if you don't have a backup plan, if you haven't minimized your risk, you can't do that, because you have to make the money. Like you have to make that much money this month. It's not like you could just like temporarily like shut down the website, like work on it, make it better, because you have to make the money, because you have to pay your bills, because you sacrifice everything to that. And I think about this company I was actually learning about the other day, called Warby Parker, who was selling glasses online. I was reading this book, Originals, and in the book, the guy had the opportunity to invest in this company. But much like the sharks often do, he didn't invest because the guy wouldn't drop out of college, and they were also looking at full-time jobs. He was like, if they're trying to get full-time jobs right now, obviously they're not going to be dedicated to the business, and I'm not going to make my investment back. But what happened? They ended up succeeding, and it looks like they succeeded because they went and got other jobs, because they finished school. And the reason for this is because they were able to, essentially, they didn't depend on the money from the product, and were able to make it better before they really, they were fine to just wait a little bit. Like for instance, they were originally they're trying to sell the glasses online. They noticed, they weren't selling. They were barely making money, like any money at all. If they had quit their job, if they had to quit school and was doing it full time, they would need to make the money. So they'd be going out there like pressing harder, like trying to sell. But instead, they were making money and they were fine. So like with the product, they decided to not sell, figure out what's going on. They were able to revise the product, revise the strategy, and then launch it and be insanely successful. If they had not had their full-time jobs and did not have their degrees in college, they wouldn't have been able to do that, and the story would have been a failure. So I understand what the sharks are saying when they talk about when they talk about dropping out of college, pursuing the business full time, because there is desperation to being broke. Like Damon John says it in his book The Power of Broke, where it's like when you need to make the money, you'll find a way to make it. And that is a true statement, and I agree with 100%. But I do think it's smarter as an entrepreneur to minimize your risk, be able to make the best product you can, have the freedom financially to do that, and then go out there and do it. That's really my opinion on it. And also, the sharks aren't totally wrong either, because you can save up the money from your 9 to 5 before, and then launch the business and live off your savings full time. But really, I don't know. I think it's not the smartest decision to not invest in a company solely because they're not 100% dedicated, but they also have another job, if that makes sense. That's really my opinion on it. That's one thing I've noticed that I feel like they get wrong. Maybe I'm wrong though. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.